Hey guys, welcome to You Are Nature. Appreciate you guys taking the time to come out and move with me. Got some movement goodness for you today. Will be about a 20-minute practice that will have you feeling good in your body, good moving again, and help promote that mind-body connection. First up, we got spinal waves. So what you want to do is as you inhale, you're going to drop that back and look up. And as you exhale, you're going to round that back and push through. Inhale, drop that back. Exhale, push that back up and through. You can start by having the movement in singular plane, and then as you go here, you can take that movement into different planes. As you can see, I started to circle my spine. You can also bring your body forward, roll your body forward, and roll your body back as you keep that same rhythm of inhaling, looking up, exhaling, looking back. Next up, we got arm and neck rotations. So either in a kneeling or standing position, you want to sweep your arms through in a circular motion, bringing them through a full range of motion. Inhaling as you bring them up, exhaling as you sweep them through. And make sure you're keeping strength through these ranges of motion. You can also bring your arms out to the side here and start to twist them, bringing one side of the palm up, one hand down. Start to rotate your neck. If you want an extra stretch, you can lightly press your hand against your head to get an extra stretch. Next up, we got 90-90 hip swivels. So with the legs posted at 90 degrees each way, swivel those hips. You can use your hands posted behind your back to help with the movement, but swivel those hips from side to side, switching which leg is in front. If you want, you can bring those hands up. You can also sweep that leg through to switch sides instead of swiveling your hips. Find the stretch and movement that feels best for your body. We'll be here for about 10 more seconds. Next up, we got deep hinges and prone stretch. So from a downward dog position or a deep hinge position, press that chest towards those knees, and then roll that spine forward into a prone or up dog stretch. And then you can roll back into a down dog and walk it up into a deep forward fold, releasing any tension out of the lower back. Feeling that nice stretch to the hamstrings and through that back. As you rotate or transition into upward dog from down dog, you can either do a dive bomb, which is pressing through, or you can roll that spine. We'll be here for about 10 more seconds. So now as we get into our main practice, we're going to perform each movement for about 1 minute. And as we get started here, I'd really like to invite you guys to play within and explore these different movement patterns. Our first movement is going to be roll-ups. So from a lying position on your back with the knees bent, you're going to activate that core and roll up into a seated position. You can add some reaches into this. You can also roll up into a kneeling position, pulling yourself up with the power of your core and your hips. As you get more familiar, you can add what are called some hip openers. So as you roll up onto that one leg in a kneeling position, you can start to open and close that knee or bring that knee down to the mat and back out, opening and closing that hip with strength. Roll back and perform it on the other side. We'll be here for about 10 more seconds. Next up, we got bridge swings and reaches. So from an inverted position with the chest facing up towards the sky, take one hand up towards the sky and reach it overhead. You can also sweep it through a full range of motion to get an extra stretch. As far as breathing mechanics go, inhale as you bring your hand up to the sky and exhale as you sweep it through. Great time to check in with your body and see if you're maintaining strength through these movements through pressing the feet and the hand that's down firmly into the ground. You can also add swings by bringing your butt down and swinging it through your heels and then also back and through so your feet and legs are straight, pressed straight out. We'll be here for about 10 more seconds. Next up, we got hand and foot crawl. So in a quadrupedal position, on all fours with the knees hovering slightly above the ground and then your hips at about head height, you're going to pick up opposite hand and foot with the strength through your core and the hand that's pressed down. And you're going to hold for about a 2 count. Once you start to get comfortable with these movements and feel the strength through these movements, you can start to take your movement into different planes by moving around your mat and walking around your mat. You can also incorporate some of these transitions that you see, such as kick-throughs and passovers. Feel free to flow through this for about the next 15 seconds. Next up, we got squat shifting. So from a squat position, sink down with strength and press through to come back up, through the hips to come back up. Take that movement into different planes and different variations of squats by altering the angles of your squats and also the distance between your feet to get different stretches throughout the movement. You can also add some lunges in and some reaches with your lunges as well. We'll be here for about the next 20 seconds. Now we're running it back for round 2. So again, we're going to start with the roll-ups. This round, I really encourage you to start to play with these movements and really make them your own. Start to really connect with your body and feel where these movements are coming from, and also take into account different variations and additions that you can add to each movement, such as rocking all the way up to standing and switching sides and kicking back. You can also add some swing jumps or full-on get-ups, as well as somersaults and rollovers. We'll be here for about the next 15 seconds. That's time. Now we're going into bridge reaches and bridge swings for the second round. Again, maintaining strength through those shoulders and those pressed out arms as you move through these movements. Feel free to play within these movements for about the next 40 seconds. And that's time. Next up, we got hand-foot crawl. So again, knees hovering slightly off the ground, off the mat, hips about head height. Pick up opposite hand and foot with strength and the activation of your core. Start to take these movements into different planes by moving around your mat, maintaining that strength through. You can also add these transitions, kick-throughs and passovers. Another variation you can throw in is something called the shuffle crawl, where you plant your hands to the side of you and jump to the opposite side of the mat. maintaining strength through your shoulders to help you move. Lastly, in our strength portion is squat shifting. Again, using the strength of your hips, your quads, and your hamstrings, squat down and press up through those glutes. Add in some lunging, some reaching, and take those squats and lunges into different planes, angles, and variations. Enjoy exploring and playing with these squat patterns for about the next 30 seconds. As you continue to squat and shift around here, I'd like to invite you to check in with your breath. What's the rhythm and cadence of your breathing currently? Try to slow it down, bring it more into nasal breathing. If that means slowing your pace down and the intensity down, I'd like to encourage you to start to connect with that breath. Now we're going to get into the flow portion of the practice, which is a really time that I invite you to play with all these movements that we've worked on so far and really start to incorporate some creativity and imagination within these movements. Oftentimes in our workouts, we're so strict with what the movement has to be. This is a great opportunity to bring more creativity and freedom into the movements. First up, we got rock and roll flow. So with that same rock and rolling motion, you're going to rock up into standing, add some swing jumps, and really make it your own. Play with these movements. Roll around and rock around your mat, rocking up sometimes. Other times adding some hip openers. You can bring your legs into 90-90. Really just moving through these ground movements. Enjoy flowing through these movements for about the next minute. Again, this is another great time to check in with that breath, how the pace and how the rhythm is. Is it coherent or is it out of sorts, fast and hard, or slow and controlled? And that's time. Great work so far. We're going to take about a 15-second break. And next up on the docket, we got shuffle crawl flow. And let's get into it. You can start by doing a shuffle jump into a crawl, adding transitions such as pass-throughs and kickovers. Again, maintaining strength through those shoulders, through those hands that are pressed out, and being fluid through those motions. No movement has to be perfect, nor should it be. There's no such thing as perfect movement. Be creative with how you move. Be playful with your practice. Oftentimes we feel like we need to be stuck into a box, strict with how we work out or how we move. This is an invitation to start to move authentically. Start to connect with how your body wants to move and how it feels good for your body to move. And ultimately enjoy bringing play back into movement practices instead of trying to struggle and grind through these movements. Enjoy moving for the sake of movement itself. We'll be here for about the next 20 to 30 seconds. Great work, that's time. And next up, we got tripod get-ups. And let's do it. From a standing position, you're going to put one hand in between your legs and kick that same foot through. You'll step it back up and repeat this on the same side. You can start to get a feel for this, and you can also, as you kick through, bring your legs into 90-90. Work on transitions through these movements, and again, play and flow through this. Make this practice and these movements your own, bringing the connection through your mind and your body into play. You don't have to be real intense with this if you don't want to. You can move at your own speed and at your own pace. And that's time. Great work today. Great work with that flow section. Now we're going to get into a cool down. The first stretch will be a lunge stretch. So from a lunge position, one leg down, squeeze that butt through, keeping those ribs pointed down, making sure they're not flaring up, and feeling a nice stretch through that quad and that hamstring. Checking in with that breath, slowing that pace and that rhythm down to put that body and that mind in that more rest and digest parasympathetic mode so we can recover from this session quicker. Good, and you can switch sides, performing the same stretches on the other side. Now we'll get into long and cross leg stretch. So with your legs spread out, start to reach, pulling your body forward or bending your body forward from your hips. Then pull your legs back into a cross-legged stretch. Reach in any direction that feels good for your body. Again, maintaining slow and controlled nasal breathing. Start to calm that body down. And lastly, we got deep hinge to prone stretch. So just as we did in the warm-up, press that chest towards your knees in the deep hinge or down dog position. You can reach to alternate feet to add a little bit more of a stretch. You can walk it up and hang, releasing that tension out of the back and out of that spine. And then roll your body forward into a prone stretch. Feeling that nice bend to that back. Making sure you're getting full inhales and exhales. Perfect. And now we're going to get into some breath work. Again, this will help with our recovery and help get you in more of a restful and calm state. The cadence of this breath work will be 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, through the nose, placing the hands on those rib cages so you can feel that lateral expansion as you breathe in and that contraction as you breathe out. Smooth in and relaxed out. Anytime you catch your mind wandering, just bring it back to the breath. Feeling that smooth inhale and that relaxed exhale. Feeling those ribs fill up as you breathe in 360 degrees, and feeling them go down and in as you breathe out. If you find yourself struggling to follow the rhythm of 4 in, 6 out, don't worry. At the end of the day, those numbers are arbitrary. The overarching point is to relax that breath. Have a nice controlled and slow inhale and a relaxed and even slower and prolonged exhale. This will promote recovery, relaxation, and activate more of that parasympathetic tone, which is the rest and digest state of your nervous system. Good. Take one last inhale and exhale. Opening those eyes. Start to move that body. And with that being said, we are out of here. Thanks for coming and moving with me. Thoroughly enjoyed the practice, and I hope you guys did too. Hope to see you guys again. Peace and love.